probably thrilled. It's just like, screw you, right? I mean, I'm shocked she doesn't run into, I'm like, I guess you said she doesn't really go out that much, Rinna.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, maybe now she's going to go out in other cities. I mean, she's definitely swirling around, in when she was in Europe
She's
I
not going to Craig's at night or the Ivy during the day.
yeah, I don't think she really did. She's not going to, Giorgio Baldi. She's not going to these places. I mean, where have you, maybe she went to Craig's with Harry and her kids every once in a while, but that's not her. You know what I mean? I think that
I do.
I think this part for me, and I probably cut her more slack than a lot of people would, just because I think that in her mind, she was doing her job and it went too far, and she's responsible for that. No two ways about it. It's solely on her. But I think she got used in the same way, different, but in the same way that Brandi got used, Dorinda got used. I mean, there's people that just get used. And yeah, and she was great with them for a while, but then it got to the point where it's like, if you're willing to just keep pushing the envelope and doubling down on the behavior, and people don't like you, we can't save you. And I do believe, I mean, I saw a couple Watch What Happens Live when Andy was telling her, like, you're a disaster on social media, just put it down, stop doing all this. And I felt like he was giving her solid advice, but she just couldn't get out of her own way because she loves the attention.
I agree with all of that. I think she was definitely used.
No.
And I think that like she said on this she's like, I did my job. She said, I can sleep knowing that I showed up because look, you said she is a hustler. She's a worker. She is a worker. I think she did do the job description. This was it. And it's almost like, even if it's happening, which I don't think you do lose sight after 8 years, especially when you did it successfully. But which even though everyone gets fired, it's almost like you can't stop it. You know what I mean? It's even like you got used. I don't really think she knew she was being used, but even if you did, what else could she have done? It's like the train has left the station.
And I agree with you. And I also think that the confusing thing is that when you're out in public, if someone could be hating you and writing a smear on IG and social media, I hate you, and the poop emoji and all these things, and saying the worst things, but if they ran into you at Whole Foods, they would want to take a picture with you, and they would never say any of this to your face, because as LVP said to me a long time ago, celebrity trumps everything. And so imagine when she went out, I would be willing to bet that she's probably never really had anyone, except when she went to BravoCon and they had the strength of the audience all together to boo her. I doubt that anyone's ever said anything to her face, personally, like to her face.
You talked about LVP. You said that here before. I agree with that 100%. I see it all the time. That's my point with Erica Jane. It's like, you will literally tomorrow on Instagram, when someone else says Erica's a crook, you will actually make a comment and say she's a disgusting crook. And yes, you want your picture with her 100%. And it's different when you're at BravoCon and you're like in the back of a crowded room, because you ain't getting no picture with Lisa Rinna because she's really far away. But I agree. If you see her at the grocery store, you're going to tell her how much. I had another housewife on here from Miami who said, you know what? She's like, whoever you are as the housewife, when someone comes up to you, oh, you're my favorite housewife. That is 100% what they say to everything. Yep.
I love you. I'm your fan. Blah 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 blah. Can you imagine for 8 seasons what she gets from the fans? Even, yeah.
So 100%. So I mean, I actually agree with you that I think probably thought that this was going to go much different. Now, I guess the only thing you could have done differently is when you get the text message from Kathy saying like, shh, we're not going to mention this. That maybe she regrets bringing this up on the show, because that is the thing. You did not have to bring this up. There were no cameras.
Oh. If she didn't bring it up, I say she's still on the show.
You think?
I do. She gave enough to stay. without burning the bridges down. You know what I mean? Like
Because think about it.
The fans don't want Kathy Hilton to go away yet. She's still delivering. They're loving her. And, you know, I mean, across the board, all the franchises, she's got to be like the #1 favorite right now, right?
Yes. Now, some people do not like her. I think there's less in season. Like, there are people, like season 1, I think like 98% probably loved her. I would say it's more like, 85, 15. Yeah, it's still like maybe 80, 20. Yeah.
Okay.
There are people that they don't think the reunion helped matters.
No, I don't think Kathy looked great on the reunion. And I mean, when she said to Erica, like, you don't own those things, and and Erica's like, I bought that 20 years ago.
I thought Kathy did. I mean, even Erica, when she was walking after she said Rinna was the GOAT, she's like, at least she should. For some reason, they all just hate LVP. She's like, at least she showed up. She's like, she wasn't a coward like Lisa Vanderpump. Like, they all just have this animosity towards Vanderpump.
I think the thing, what I noticed about that, the animosity towards Vanderpump, is that I think everyone felt like she played dirty, like she played underneath the table and had people do her dirty work, and tried to control the narrative of the show because she was so well liked. And
we'll look at this whole thing where they say Erica's publicist, even though now it's her ex-publicist. I think that has to do with Kathy, because Eric, like, how did this even get out? Like, how did this get out even to begin with? Like, they all play dirty. Listen, it takes 1 second to leak something to the press. It's very simple. It's very simple.
Curious when it was all going on, didn't they kind of allude to the fact that they thought that it was Erica's publicist that was leaking, right?
That's what they said, but I mean, it would have been either. I don't think we ever really found out. Now, it's not her, because I actually know the person. He's actually a great publicist, but he's not her. I find it very strange that he represented Erica, and he has a lot of people like Dorothy Wang from Rich Kids and from Blanket, but he also has Nikki Hilton, and then Jill Fritzo, who's a huge publicist. She does Bethany. They don't just do reality stars. She does Lisa Rinna and Paris Hilton. And Rinna parted ways with her when this all was over. And
I remember that.
So it's like, to me, that's like a Hilton thing. Like, I think Nikki and Paris or Kathy, because 2 publicists do not let Erica and Rinna go the same week. That's not a coincidence.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Erica's publicist let her go. I know Rinna's did.
Well, Erica's and they're not together anymore. So I mean, that's the coincidence. They both, I don't think so. I think that Kathy Hilton picked up the phone, or I think Nikki Hilton Rothschild in Paris. Look, it's your own decision. You could say, I'm choosing Rinna over Paris Hilton. You could choose Erica over Nikki, but that is not how this played out. So that is not a coincidence that 2 publicists let Erica and Rinna go, with that also represent Paris and Nikki Hilton. Sorry.
Right.